This is the very last model featuring this iconic screen. As for colors, besides the black, a gray version is also available. Honestly, for 4:3 aspect ratio devices, this model is practically the ultimate version. For horizontal, there's the 477M, and for vertical, naturally, you have this 477V. You can definitely tell from the extent of the wear and tear on my 477M just how frequently I put it to use. Now, if you are currently in search of another, I really can't envision another retro handheld gaming device that boasts a 4:3 screen and can seamlessly play all PS2 titles, along with any 4:3 aspect ratio games. This particular instance showcases Soul Calibur running at a superb 3x resolution, making it quite the unique offering. When it comes to playing PS2 games, the 477V or 477M truly handles them with effortless ease, making the experience exceptionally smooth and enjoyable for any player. Without a doubt, they are incredibly capable, offering a superior gaming experience. It can even capably handle the emulation of certain Switch games. Alright, let's turn our attention back to the exterior design. The most immediately striking feature is undoubtedly this entirely glass front panel. There are subtle distinctions between the black and gray versions, such as the English labeling on the dual S buttons. You won't discern the button labels on the black unit when it's powered down. Nevertheless, upon activating the device, the respective button indicators will also light up. Within the convenient pull-down menu, you are given the choice to either deactivate this illumination entirely or configure it for automatic activation. Moreover, even when the device finds itself in a completely powered-off condition, on the black machine, the screen's narrow bezel is practically invisible, appearing almost borderless. In contrast, with the gray machine, a slender bezel is quite perceptible. Therefore, when looking at both the black and gray color options, not only do the front buttons show a distinction in their color, but the shoulder buttons on the back also have subtle differences in their hues. This iteration of the shoulder button design does not feature linear trigger buttons. Instead, it utilizes micro-switch triggers. You'll notice two angled finger rest areas located below these trigger buttons. This particular design ensures that your middle fingers can naturally and comfortably settle into this position when the device is held from the front, enhancing grip comfort. It also plays a role in preventing accidental touches to the shoulder buttons. However, I must admit the design of the rear air intake vent isn't necessarily bad for using a square shape, especially considering the two top corners feature a very sharp right-angled design. Yet there's still a point to be made. I genuinely believe there's still ample scope for refining the internal pattern design. While this full-screen display is undeniably attractive, it unfortunately has a tendency to readily accumulate fingerprints. Therefore, it's quite essential to have a cleaning cloth, such as a glasses cloth, easily accessible. The overall height of this device measures 15.2 centimeters. The device measures 15.2 centimeters in height, with a width of 10.2 centimeters, and the grip section has a thickness of approximately 2.2 millimeters. What exactly does this mean in practical terms? To give you a clearer idea, I have a compact manga comic book here in my hand, and that provides a good sense of the overall proportions we are discussing. Let's hold it a bit further back, visually contrasting it with the black one. See, this essentially demonstrates the size proportion. Oh, and for your information, Detective Conan has already aired its 105th episode. Now, if we were to take this and directly compare it with the metal 477M unit, this is what the volume comparison indicates. The device isn't exactly lightweight, tipping the scales at 342 grams. As a side note, let's compare it to the 477M, which weighs 381 grams, a difference accounted for by its metal casing. Alright, now let's proceed to examine some of the other intricate details. First off, we'll focus on the front panel. The central largest button serves as the back key. Pressing and holding it will exit the current application, while a quick tap performs a single step back. Previously, I noted that the illumination of the dual S buttons can be customized through the pull-down menu to remain constantly lit, activate manually, or stay continuously off. Always on refers to its current state, where it stays illuminated. What we have now, the present state, and always on. That's quite straightforward to understand. And what about manual mode? If you select that, it switches into this particular state. It remains off when you're not pressing it, but if you do press it, it briefly illuminates, which is actually rather interesting. Additionally, on the upper part of the machine, besides the main central air vent, on the top, you'll find a power indicator light and a versatile Type-C port. This port allows you to connect a USB drive or a card reader. It also serves as the charging port, offering support for fast charging. Moving to the left side of the device, you'll see what we call the front-end call button, or perhaps it's better described as This button functions as the AI translation activator. A long press takes you into Anbernic's proprietary self-developed front end. Pressing it again for a longer duration instantly closes it. Additionally, this button offers customization. It can be set to launch various applications, including user-installed third-party front ends such as Pegasus, allowing for a broader range of functionalities. That's also an option. This time, the TF card slot features a small integrated cover, which presents a very tidy and organized appearance. On the right side of the device, you'll find the volume keys and the power button. Notably, the power button also serves as the sleep function activator. These functionalities are generally quite standard, quite a conventional method of use. Let's explore other features. These are all pretty standard features. At the bottom, you'll find two symmetrically placed speakers on the left and right, with a 3.5mm headphone jack situated right in the center. The model I'm holding has a 12GB RAM and 256GB storage configuration, but there's also a basic version available with 8GB RAM and 128GB storage. The manufacturer hasn't publicly disclosed details yet, but I anticipate an announcement very soon. Furthermore, upon its initial launch, the official release will also include a complimentary storage bag. Given that it features a glass panel, the upper section has undergone specialized reinforcement to enhance its durability significantly. It boasts exceptional robustness, and then, once the device is placed inside, it can be neatly stored away. What's more, the handle on top incorporates a cleverly designed hook right here. This hook enables it to transform into a convenient carrying handle. Just secure this section and you're good to go. So the RG477V can effortlessly play PS2 games, which is absolutely perfectly fine. Alternatively, you could view playing Switch or Wii U games on it as an additional bonus. And now for some truly good news, the Yuzu emulator has been updated to version 0.004. This latest version introduces several significant and welcome optimizations. Previously, the Shinobi game previously couldn't be played, but with this newest version, it's now fully functional. And on the topic of screen dimensions, when you're playing 16:9 aspect ratio games on it, I've actually changed it to Chinese, so it's the display area of this device is actually equivalent to the screen size of the original PSP handheld. Indeed, it matches perfectly. Hey, this game is genuinely a blast to play. Action game enthusiasts absolutely must not overlook it. For those interested in the various game resources and learning materials for the Switch that the 477 is capable of running, I'll make sure to provide all that information, including download links, in the video's description. You'll find download links in the video description for those, so if you're eager to play, you can just go ahead and download them for yourself. Essentially, what I'm saying is that for Switch games of this scale, running them on the 477 poses practically no problems at all, and this particular aspect we're discussing pertains specifically to the Wii U. This is a demonstration of the game Ninja Gaiden 3. Since I don't have it installed on my vertical machine, I'll be using the 477M model to showcase it. Still, the game's performance should fundamentally be the same on both devices, so it won't make a major difference to the experience. Even though it doesn't achieve its maximum frame rate, it still remains well within a perfectly acceptable and quite playable range, thus providing a rather pleasant gaming experience. Absolutely. So playing Wii U games, 3DS titles, and similar content is definitely achievable without any issues on this device. And specifically, this example shows Mario Kart running on the Wii U, where the emulator even fully supports haptic feedback for a more immersive experience. Now, the 3DS, it utilizes this specific display method, which is completely preset, and the lower screen, although somewhat compact, is still quite operational for interacting. I'm not going to proceed with playing it further right now. So, with the NDS, what's its standard configuration? This provides a side-by-side display where both screens are equally sized. However, should we press the back button to bring up the menu, an option labeled Select Screen Layout will appear. This feature allows for the convenient alteration of various display modes. Beyond the equal size configuration, there's also an option for a larger and smaller screen arrangement, or even a vertical orientation. However, while this presentation might appear more visually pleasing, it certainly feels quite odd when actually playing. Consequently, this particular display configuration is predominantly suited for games that rely exclusively on touch input, such as text-based titles like Ace Attorney. Of course, a single-screen display is also a viable option, and one can utilize the back button to facilitate this. You can seamlessly switch between the top and bottom screens. If your preference is to select a completely full-screen display, absolutely covering the entire screen, that's certainly an option as well. You'd simply choose the final setting, and it will then utilize a comprehensive, fully immersive full-screen display mode. Now regarding PSP games. Now, as I've mentioned previously, the display's dimensions are identical to the original system, and at this moment I'm rendering it at a 3x resolution. Regarding this black unit, its top and bottom bezels integrate seamlessly with the device's chassis, making it appear more aesthetically pleasing than the gray one. The black bars are more effectively hidden, blending in more seamlessly with the device's overall design. This makes it look much sleeker and more integrated than other color options. Finally, let's discuss the built-in AI of the Anbernic. You'll find it on the left side of the third page. When you launch it, within this interface, there's an AI translation function centrally located. I consider this a rather practical feature. Upon accessing it, you'll also find various settings, such as the translation panel's dimensions. Also, there's the option to assign it to a hotkey, and the font size for the translation is also something you can customize. Let me provide an illustration. I'll once again refer to the Switch version of Shinobi. I've just reverted it to Japanese. For example, on its main interface, there are 3 distinct lines, and the initial one is labeled Story. Then there's the settings area, and also this. What exactly does this signify? You just need to lightly touch the A button, and then it will provide the translation. And it possesses the ability to be audibly spoken. Alright, let us now proceed to this right from the very start. Well then, what exactly does this particular section signify? We shall simply tap the translate option to ascertain its meaning. Thus, this translation feature proves quite advantageous and beneficial when you are deeply involved in playing a variety of games that are predominantly text-based.
The Ninja Village, where the enemy's grasp draws ever nearer.
Moreover, Anbernic is presently engaged in a cooperative venture with Migu Play, an online cloud gaming provider. By entering the Migu Play platform, you are afforded the opportunity to experience a broad selection of celebrated titles, including KOF 15, the much-anticipated Black Myth, Wukong, Honkai, and numerous other distinguished games. Oh, you simply hit Instant Play. Of course, you'll need to log in beforehand. Cloud gaming, you see, operates differently. It doesn't utilize this machine's internal processor for processing. Instead, all the heavy lifting is handled remotely in the cloud. Your device merely serves as a display. My personal experience playing these games indicates there's virtually no perceptible delay whatsoever, which is genuinely quite good. Alright. The 477V genuinely provides a truly extensive range of enjoyable content. My colleague just briefly touched upon its primary features, and for this particular model, the battery capacity has been significantly boosted to an impressive 5,500 mAh, even exceeding that of the 477M. With a 5,300 mAh capacity, which is 200 mAh more, and support for 27-watt fast charging, battery life anxiety is practically non-existent. Therefore, if you're a devoted retro gaming enthusiast who appreciates the vertical handheld design and desires to experience PS2 and GameCube classics with the utmost visual fidelity, then in that case, the Anbernic RG477V absolutely stands out as a prime contender, truly one of the most compelling choices you should seriously consider by the close of 2025.